Shalom, shalom, Kol Yisrael. This is Rahapathawel bin Yaakov, and you are viewing True Remnant Ministry. We are reaching out to the true remnant of the house of Yisrael, scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Hallelujah, Todah Yah. Once again, we are coming before you, my ox, the colts, brothers and sisters, to deliver unto you once again another lesson or teaching, line upon line, precept upon precept, so that we might gain understanding and knowledge through the word of Yah, through the precepts which are the commandments of Yah, his instructions in which he has given us as a guideline on how we should conduct ourselves and live our life and be pleasing to the Most High. I want to say to all of you who are viewing, if you are a first-time listener, or if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, or if you're not connected to us on Facebook, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at True Remnant Ministry. Also, you can subscribe to or become a friend on my Facebook page, which is called True Remnant Ministry or Pathawel bin Yaakov, okay, on Facebook. You can look for that name or type in True Remnant Ministry. You'll see a picture of me and everything of that nature. So and then you can click on the profile and send me a friend's request if you want to stay updated with our Facebook profile, which is on Facebook. Also on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is True Remnant Ministry, all right? Without any further ado, I want to get into the topic at hand, in which we're going to be talking about, is sex marriage? Now, I did do a teaching on this about I would say, close to a month and a half ago, could be close to about 2 months, but we was having so much technical difficulties airing this on live at that particular time because I was transitioning into Facebook Live, and I was trying to use some software and things of that nature, which was not working out. But fortunately, Todah Yah, we have been able to perfect doing live stream videos and things of that nature. So I want to reteach that particular video because I didn't get a chance to finish it or to complete the teaching successfully, all right? So we're going to reteach this particular subject because I believe it's very important for us to understand, especially my sisters or coaches out there, also ops out there who are single, who have a desire to have a isha or a wife. And for those of you who might have young children in which you are bringing up in this belief system, and these children, if yashra'al tarry, they're going to grow and become of age whereby they're going to be ready to have their own families and be seeking wives and women seeking husbands, okay? So there is a false doctrine that is going around amongst the Israelite nation saying that if a man has sex with a woman, then that automatically makes that woman his wife, okay? Is this scriptural? That's the first question we want to ask. Is this scriptural? Can this be proven with the law, the Torah, and the prophets? Also, can it be proven even with some of the writings of the Salishim or the apostles, okay? And I'm here to tell you, no. You will not find that doctrine substantiated through scripture with a definite or a defining analogy that states that sex makes a woman a man's wife. That is not Torah. That is not law. Neither is it applicable to our ancient Hebrew customs in which our forefathers had followed. Now, I want to say something. Traditions and customs, as it relates to Israelite culture, as taught in the Tanakh or in the Torah and in the prophets, leading up to the writings of the Salishim, the teachings of Yeshua HaMashiach, customs, all customs are not bad, my brothers and sisters. As long as those customs and traditions align themselves with the law and with the prophets, okay, they are to be followed, all right? Now, if those customs and those traditions do not line up with Torah, then they are man-made, or they go against Yah, or they go against the commandment in which Yah has prescribed and commanded for us to follow, then we have a problem, okay? But there are certain customs that our forefathers followed that are cultural, that help us to stay in line with the Torah and with the prophets. Those customs are all right to follow. So all customs are not bad. You have to have discernment. You have to get into the word and see if those customs go against the Torah or go against the law of the Most High. If they do, then we have a problem. But as it relates to marriage, as it relates to sexual intimacy, does sexual intimacy between a man and a woman or vice versa, does that make that woman, or does that make that man that woman's husband? And I'm here to tell you no, and I'm going to give you infallible proof, not according to my theology or my opinion, but according to the word of Yah. Line upon line, precept upon precept, proving and testing all things. If you have your scriptures, I want you to turn with me to the book of Hebrews. We want to go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 4. The book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 4. And this is the writings of Saul, or the Apostle Paul. Look what he says. He says, in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4, he says, marriage is honorable. So marriage is an honorable thing. In all, in the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers, Elohim will judge. So marriage is an honorable thing. If you have desire for a woman, okay, and you want to take this woman to be your wife, then you have to approach her in an honorable manner, and that matter would be to marry her or to take her unto you to be your wife. Now there are protocols. There is a righteous way to go about doing that. And having sex with her before marrying her, okay, is not the honorable way. Notice that Saul says that marriage first is honorable and the bed is undefiled. So when you put the bed before the marriage, then it becomes dishonorable. But when you put the marriage, or you marry the woman before the sexual intercourse or before the bed, then you're being honorable, okay? It's an honorable situation. So we cannot put the bed before the marriage. The marriage must come before the bed. The bed is a byproduct of the marriage. Not the marriage, a byproduct of the bed, okay? The indulging of sexual activity, a man with a woman, the joy or the pleasure of it, should not come before marriage. That should be enjoyed before the man. Those things should happen after the man has made a commitment, or he has made himself accountable to you to be your husband, a co-tea or sister, okay? He must make that known to you, and not only to you, but to somebody who can hold him accountable for you, all right? Before he engaged in any type of sexual or romantic situation with you. You should not put the bed before the marriage. Because if you do, you are a whoremonger. You are an adulterer. And God is going to judge you. All right? So we're going to get into the depths of this message. I want to lay this foundation to show you a protocol. The scripture tells us that everything must be done what? Decently and in order. There is an order to everything that Yah does. The Most High is not a Most High of chaos. Even when he brings catastrophic mayhem or judgment upon a people, upon a nation, upon the world, he does it in an orderly fashion. Okay? He is the most high of order. Look at everything that he's created. It has order. It has purpose. It's the same thing with marriage. Marriage has an order. It has a purpose in which makes it honorable. When you don't follow the protocols or the order, or if you go outside of the context of what marriage is designed for, then you're making a dishonorable act. All right? Let's get into the scriptures. Let's get into the Torah right quick. Let's go to the book of Shemot, Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. And it reads, "And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife." This verse right here alone, I can read this one verse, okay, and that's enough to put to rest these false doctrines and allegations that sex makes a woman a man's wife. Because he's clearly saying here that if a man entices a maiden that is not betrothed or engaged or promised to be another man's wife, and he lied with her, he has to do what to make that woman his wife? He has to endow her to be or to become his wife. That's just it. A woman is not a man's wife until he endows her to become his wife. Point blank. If a man has sex or sexual relations with a woman before endowing her to be his wife, he just committed whoredom. He has just defiled that woman. That's what Torah says now. We're going to get into it. He has just defiled that woman. He has not dealt honorably with that woman, because the honorable thing would be first to endow her to be your wife, engage her, okay, in betrothal or in a Hebraic engagement, all right, first. Then once you engage her and she's given to you to be your wife, then you take her and lie with her. Not lie with her first and then, okay, now I have to endow this woman to be my wife. That was a very dishonorable thing. We're going to get into that as we go along in scripture. I'm going to show you, okay, I'm going to show you. All right. Now let's look at a few words here in Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. The first word that I want to look at is entice. Now, according to the Bridgeway Bible Dictionary, the word entice is pronounced pathal, which means to be spacious, to be open, to be wide. That is to be simple, entice, deceive, persuade, to be open-minded, simple, be naive, to entice, to deceive, to beguile, to deceive, to be deceived, all right? So that's what that word means. In the Strong, it means to be open, figuratively, in mentally, in moral sense, to be or to become simple in a sinister way, to delude, to allure, to deceive, to flatter, to entice. Does that sound like something that is righteous to you? If a man deceives or he flatters a woman to lie with her, he is a unrighteous and wicked man. Because a righteous man would not deceive you, my sister. He would not try to deceive you or try to entice you or flatter you just to get in your pants or underneath your skirt, or just to get you in the bed to fulfill some type of fleshly lust. He's not going to do that. He's going to seek to do the honorable thing, and that is to make you his wife. And that is to endow you to be his wife, okay? Now let's look at another word here in Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. Let's look at the word endow. Because the scripture says that if he lies with a woman that is not betrothed, he shall surely endow her, all right? The word endow here, according to the Bridgeway Bible Dictionary, is enunciated ma'ar, which means to obtain or acquire by paying, purchase, price, give a dowry. So when a man wants to endow a woman to be his wife, he must give a purchase price, which is a dowry, in order for that woman to become his wife. That is what the Torah teaches. That's what the Torah teaches. Now look at this. To obtain in exchange So the way he obtained that wife or that woman to be his wife, he must exchange something in return for that woman to be his wife. This is Torah. And you brothers out there that call yourself teaching this false doctrine, making these false claims, causing the nation of Yisrael, the ox and the colts, to commit fornication and whoredom. You're the ones that say that y'all teach from the Torah, but yet you're not teaching it line upon line, precept upon precept. You have to look up these words to understand what they mean. Look what it goes on to say. The Strong's definition is through the idea of readiness to bargain for a wife. It means to bargain for a wife. So you have to bargain for that woman to be your wife, which is given a purchase price or a dowry. Who do you bargain with? Who do you go to talk to or to bargain with to make this woman or to endow this woman to be your wife? Let's go to verse 17. Hallelujah. And it reads, if her father utterly refused to give her unto him, so the father has the choice either to accept your offer or to refuse it. He is the one responsible in giving the woman to the man to be that man's wife. If she has not been given to you by permission to be your wife, she cannot be your wife, okay? I understand this modern day society and culture, okay? They bypass the father, they bypass the mother, they bypass any nearest kin to a woman, okay? They bypass it. We've been taught in this westernized society that a man can just walk up to a woman and say, oh, will you marry me? Okay? And if she accepts, then, okay, you can marry her without the father or the mother, or if the father and the mother is there, someone that's her closest kin, okay? In this day and age, people don't care about that. But in the ancient Hebrew culture of antiquity, our forefathers, they valued the decision of the father or the mother or the brothers or any close kin to the woman, okay? They valued their assessment in that matter. But in this day and age, the value of the father, the mother, the brother or the sisters, the relatives, they don't take that into consideration. Young girls, young men, they try to take matters into their own hand, and they go and try to propose to the woman, or the woman vice versa go up and propose to the man without any type of counsel or any type of guidance in the situation. And that is why we have whoredom amongst the house of Israel. That is why we have divorce like never before amongst the house of Israel and amongst our nation, because we will not follow these guidelines that Torah has given us as it relates to marriage. And in Exodus chapter 22 verse 16, we can clearly see, because of this situation, okay, because this man has laid with this woman before endowing her to be his wife, then the father has the legal right to refuse to give his daughter to this man to be his wife, or he can accept it. It is his choice. Now some of you say, well, what if the woman doesn't have a father? Okay? What if the woman doesn't have a father? There are examples in scripture whereby, okay, a woman didn't have a father, or vice versa. Even there is a law regarding that particular thing. Okay, if a man dies and he doesn't have any sons and he just have daughters, okay, they can go and choose in whom they would like to marry. That's according to Torah, okay? That's according to Torah. But still there is a rightful protocol on how that goes. Let's take the situation with Ruth, okay? Ruth was a Moabite. Ruth ended up marrying an Israelite. Her husband died before any seed was given to him, but Naomi okay, she didn't have any more sons, nor could she bear any more sons for Ruth and Ruth's sister to marry. So what did Naomi advise her to do? He advised her about Boaz, okay? And because there was no man present in Naomi's house, okay, in order to officiate a marriage, okay, between Boaz and Ruth, then Naomi advised Ruth to go and find Boaz, spread out her coat or a sheet, lay at his feet, okay, and when he wakes up and see you there, he would know what to do concerning the matter. Now, when you go back to read the book of Ruth, this particular incident, those of you who are well versed in scripture, you know what I'm talking about. Boaz didn't just grab her and go into her and have sex with her because she was laying there at his feet. He understood the custom. He understood what she was doing. She was proposing to him. Why? Because there was no man to engage, okay, or no man in her family at that time to give her to be the wife to the nearest kin of her husband that had been deceased or that had passed on. Okay, so we have to go back to scripture and we have to find these analogies and see how they fit or see how they are associated or how they relate to our situation. If we do it that way, then we can know and we can find out what is the right thing to do. But it is never right for a man to go and have sex with a woman and say, oh, that's my wife because I had sex with you, you're my wife. That is not Torah. That is a right protocol. That is an order that must be followed. A woman can only be a man's wife if she is given to him for that purpose. If she is not given to that man for that purpose, that woman can never be that man's wife if she's not given to him for that purpose. This is Torah. Just because you have sex with her does not make her your wife. No way, shape, or form, my brothers and sisters. All right, let's continue on. Let's continue on. Verse 17, it says, if her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall surely pay the money according to the dowry of virgin. He still got to pay. Whether the father accept or refuse, he still has to pay. And even though he has to pay, that does not make that woman his wife unless the father gives his daughter to that man to be his wife. Sex never makes a woman a man's wife. That is a lie from the pit of hell, and it is not substantiable in Torah. Those allegations are not substantial in Torah. Let's continue on. Let's also go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22. I want to begin at verse 13 through verse 16. Let's look at this particular passage here in Deuteronomy chapter 13. And we're going to read down to verse 16, then we're going to skip down to verse 28 and 29, okay? Now, I want to explain this particular passage to you. Okay, this particular passage that we can really read in verse 13 to verse 16 is concerning a man that marries a woman or a damsel and he hates her. He goes into her and he hates her, okay? Or he finds out that she's not a virgin, or she finds out that she had prior relations prior to their marriage, okay? And this is what the Torah says. But there's one thing I want to point out in the context of the teaching in which we're dealing with, okay? Now look at this. Verse 13, he said, if any man takes a wife. Now I'm going to read this word take because it's very important for us to understand this. It has many synonyms based on the context of how it is used in the verse or in the sentence, okay? Now this word here, according to the Bridgeway Bible Dictionary, is lachak, which means to take, get, fetch, lay hold on, seize, receive, acquire, buy, bring, marry, take a wife, okay, take away. So that's what it means, all right? It also means to procure, possession, choose, to receive, to accept, to take in marriage. Also, the Strong's definition is accept, bring, buy, carry away, reserve, take away, accept. So those are the Strong definitions for that word also, okay? So if a man takes a wife, he is not basically in the context of marriage. The woman has to be bought, or there is a dowry that must be associated with the marriage, or that woman must be given to him for marriage. Therefore, he can take her. Okay. Say for instance, if someone walk in here and give me $1 million, all right, they say, well, you can have this $1 million. I have the right to take it. Why? Because they're giving it to me. Or I have the right to lay hold on it, or to seize it, or to acquire it, or to accept it. Why? Because they are offering it to me. That is the same analogy with marriage. If you take something without it being given to you, what is that? That is stealing. It's the same thing with a man's daughter. A man's daughter, his sons, his wife, that is his possession. He is in ownership of that. Whether you like it or not. According to Torah, according to Hebrew custom, a man's children, a man's wife, his possessions, they belong to him. They are his. When a man has a wife, or when he acquires a wife, give a dowry for a wife, that woman belongs to him. That man belongs to that woman. When they come together and they bear forth children, those children belong to the man. So if a person comes along and takes a man's daughter, lie with her, violate her, basically, lie with her without the father's consent, he has stole from that particular father. He has stole from that man because that man has not given him permission to do such to his daughter. And the Torah says, thou shalt not what? Steal. When you take something that is not given to you, when you take something that has not been offered to you, then you're stealing. Point blank. Now look at this. Verse 13. He said, if any man takes a wife and go in unto her, so you have to take the wife first, which means she must be given to you. You take her, then you go into her. All right? Look what he says. And hate her, and give occasion to speak against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maiden. Okay, so he takes this woman, and he goes into her, and he finds out that she's not a maiden or a virgin. All right. Now look at verse 15. This is how you know that according to the context, when a man takes a woman to be his wife, he just don't walk up and just take her without any permission, or he don't walk up and just take her without somebody giving that woman to him because of verse 15. Now look at what verse 15 says. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the token of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. Now look at verse 16. This is key. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave. So the father says unto the elders, I gave, look at this, my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her. So the only way that a man can take a woman to be his wife, she must be given to him. If he takes her without her being given to him to be his wife, he has stole from the father, he has stole from the man, or he has stolen that man's daughter from that father. sense, my brothers and sisters. If a man takes a woman and lie with her without permission to do such from the father, from the mother, from the brothers, from a close relative of hers, he has stolen her. Point blank. Let's skip down to verse 28 and 29. Deuteronomy, chapter 22. Okay, let's skip down to those two verses, all right? And it reads, it says, if a man finds a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, look at verse 29, then the man that lie with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife. All right? It says, because he has humbled her, he may not put her away or divorce her all his days. No matter what that woman does to him, no matter what type of attitude she has towards him, he cannot divorce her or put her away all the days of his life. Now, verse 29 is also related to Exodus chapter 22, verse 16 and 17, okay? Exodus chapter 22, verse 17 says that the father utterly refused to give her to be his wife, okay? So legally, a father has the ability to accept or to deny in giving his daughter to the man to be his wife, but the man still has to pay the dowry. Same thing with Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 29, okay? But now one of the things I want you to catch on here that many people miss in this particular verse is the word, because he has humbled her. What does that mean? Let's look at that word. That word is enunciated according to the Bridgeway Bible Dictionary. It is enunciated anan. Anan means to be occupied, be bruised, afflicted, oppressed, humble, be afflicted, all right? Humble oneself, bow down, to be mishandled, to be humiliated, or weaken oneself, all right? It also means to defile. That's what it means. That's what the word anan means. Those are the synonyms. It means to defile. I want you to remember that word defile, okay? I want you to remember that word. The Strong's definition means the idea through browbeating to depress, chasten, deal hardly with, defile. That's what it means. It means to defile. You have defiled her, all right? So when a man sleeps or lies with a woman, okay, before engaging or endowing that woman to be his wife, he has humbled her. He has defiled her, all right? That's what it means. So the word anan can be translated as defile. And that's what happens when a man lies with a woman before he engages her or betroths her to be his wife. He defiles her. Why? Because it is a defilement. Why? Because he has not been given permission to have intercourse or to have sexual relation with her. She has not been given to him to be his wife. Therefore, the woman feels humiliated. She feels oppressed. She feels defiled. Why? Because the man has not done what is honorable to her. The honorable situation would be, okay, I see this beautiful woman. I have desires for her. I'm going to see if I can make her my wife. I'm going to go talk to her father. That would be the honorable thing. Father gives the daughter to the man to be his wife. To be his wife. Why? Because the man has done the honorable thing, so he will accept it. But if the man does dishonor by going and superseding the father and taking hold on her or enticing her or luring her and having sex with her before getting consent with the father, he has defiled her. He has humiliated her, because according to our ancient custom, that was a dishonor for a man to do that. Now you got the father, he mad as hell. Why? Because before getting his permission to do such. Don't think that this is some hunky-dory situation. Don't think that this situation is something that most men can look over, look past. Okay? How would you feel, man? Let me tell you this. I have a daughter. I have a beautiful, she's 4 years old. Okay, but she's daddy's baby girl. And girls or daughters have a special place in a man's heart. That's just it. That's it. That's just the way it is. Men are very protective of their children in general, but when it comes to their daughters, men are very protective. A true man, a man of the Most High, a man that loves his family, if he has a daughter, he's going to do everything he can to protect her. All right? So that being said, if he feels like another man has violated his daughter or done something to his daughter to cause her to be humiliated, he's going to be mad as hell. He's going to be upset about that. So 9 times out of 10, getting that man's approval to give his daughter to you to be your wife, it ain't happening. That man, he going to take the money, he going to take them 50 shekels of silver, and he going to tell you to kick you out. So I ain't giving you my daughter to be your wife after you have humiliated me. How will a father be able to even trust a man like that? So it was an act of humiliation. It was an act of folly among Israel. We're going to get to the verses. I'm going to show you that it is an act of folly based on a situation that happened in Genesis chapter 34. But we can see that according to Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 29, when a man humbles a woman, he has handled her wrongfully. He has defiled her. He has depressed her, or he has humiliated her. It's nothing honorable about the situation. Nothing honorable about the situation, my brothers and sisters. Now, let's go to Genesis chapter 34. Genesis chapter 34, and I want to begin at verse 1. Bereshith, or Genesis chapter 34, and we're going to read this story here, or this passage here, and I'm going to show you that it is foolishness and folly and whoredom when a man lies with another man's daughter without that father's permission or with a relative permission to take that woman to be his wife. All right? It is an act of whoredom. Let's read Genesis chapter 34, verse 1. Look what it says. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bore unto Yaakov, to Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. Look at verse 2. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lied with her. Look what he says. And he, anan in the Hebrew, he defiled her. So with this word defiled in verse 2 is the same Hebrew word that's found in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 29. Let's go there. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 29. I must point this out. Very important to do such. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 29. All right? If you have your strong concordance, follow with me in the strong concordance, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. When you read Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 29, it says, Then the man that lied with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he humbled her. When you look at the word humble, it is enunciated anan. Anan, it has many synonyms, but one of the synonyms there is defiled. When you go back to Genesis, chapter 34, Genesis chapter 34, verse 2, you will see that Shechem did the same thing, or the same act that is mentioned in Exodus chapter 22, verse 16 and 17, Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28 and 29. He did the very same thing. And look what he says. It says that he defiled So it's not an honorable thing for a man to take hold of another man's daughter and lie with her, have sex with her. That does not make that woman his wife. What it means, or what the situation equates to, is whoredom. That's what it is. It is whoredom. We're going to see in the same chapter where that is mentioned. It is whoredom for a man to have sex with a woman without consent from a close relative, from that woman's mother or a close relative, or someone that she respects, who can give her to that man to be his wife. If she's not given to you, you have sex with her, you have defiled the occulty, you have defiled that woman by doing that. It is not honorable, and you're not an honorable man if you do such. Look what he goes on to say. Verse 3, and it says, and his soul cleaved unto Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov, and he loved the damsel, and spoke kindly unto her. Look at verse 4, and Shechem spake unto his father, Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to wife. So, by Shechem, the Hivite, prince of the country, sleeping with Jacob's daughter, okay, that did not make Dinah, Jacob's daughter, that did not make her his wife. Why? Because we see clearly in verse 4, Shechem spake unto his father, Hamor, and said, get me this damsel to wife. So he spake unto his father and said, Father, see if you can get this woman to be my wife. What does Hamor, the father of Shechem, do in this situation? Let's look at verse 5. And Jacob heard that he defiled Dinah, his daughter, and now his sons were with his cattle in the field, which means the 12 sons of Jacob, okay, Dinah's brothers, which were the 12 sons of Jacob. They were in the field with the cattle, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. Verse 6. And Hamor, the son of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. Now let's look at this word commune, which means dabar. It means to converse, to speak, or to talk. All right? That's what it means. It also means to commune, to pronounce, to rehearse, to speak to, a spokesman. So it also means intrigue. So he went to intrigue Jacob. He went to commune with Jacob on behalf of his son, to try to convince Jacob to give his daughter to his son to wife. That sex does not make a woman your wife. You must bargain. Going back to Exodus chapter 22, verse 16 and 17. Verse 16 says that man shall surely endow that woman to be his wife. It means to bargain for a wife, or to pay a purchase price, a dowry. That's what it means. Okay, let's skip on down to verse 7. And the sons of Yaakov came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved. They were mad. They were grieved when they heard what Shechem did to their sister. They weren't happy about that. They wasn't grieved. They said, oh man, look at that. Oh, look what he did. Oh yeah, we're going to be judged. Nah, they were mad as hell. They were pissed off because of what Shechem did to their sister. Jacob was upset. He was pissed off because of what Shechem did to his daughter. It's not an honorable situation. But look at this. It said they were grieved, and they were very wroth. They were very upset because, look at this, because he had wrought folly in Israel. He had wrought folly in Israel. They were mad at Shechem. What Shechem did to Jacob's daughter, what Shechem did to the 12 sons of Jacob, to their sister, they were mad. They were very wroth because he wrought foolishness. He did something that was foolish. He wrought folly in Israel. He wrought folly in the nation of Israel. Look what the folly was. He clearly tells you what the folly was. It wasn't because he was a Hivite. It wasn't because he was uncircumcised. It wasn't because of that. Look at what he says. It was the folly that he wrought in done. The following was that Shechem took and lay with Dinah without Jacob or the 12 sons of Jacob's permission. Dinah was not given to Shechem to wife. Dinah was not given unto Shechem for him to go in unto her or to lay with her, okay? She was not given to Shechem to be wife. The only time intimacy is legal, only time sex is legal in the nation of Israel is when a man betroths a woman to be his wife. Then the father or a close relative, the mother, the brothers, whoever it is, give that woman to the man to be his wife. That's the only legal and proper and honorable way for a man to have sex with any woman. If he does not go about that way, it is dishonorable and the bed is dishonorable. That's why the Apostle Saul said, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed is undefiled. You never put the bed before the marriage. If you do, it is dishonorable. The honorable way is to marry her, then the bed becomes undefiled. But when a man lays with a woman before getting consent to take that woman to be his wife or to marry her, okay, then he defiles her. He wrought folly in Israel. And a lot of you Hebrew Israelite brothers out here, you call yourself generals, you call yourself watchmen, you call yourself mores, you out here teaching the word, you out here spreading this false doctrine. You are wrouting folly in Israel. You are teaching the sons and daughters, the brothers and sisters in the nation of Israel to commit whoredom. And whenever whoredom is wrought or whenever whoredom is exercised among Israel, Yah will destroy that nation. He would destroy, he would bring havoc, he would bring judgment. That's one sin that God don't play with. That is whoredom. Torah tells us not to prostitute our daughters, not to prostitute our sons, for them not to be given to whoredom. And that's what you so-called brothers, teachers out here are doing. You're teaching the nation of Israel to commit folly and to commit whoredom. And I'm here to tell you, by the anointing and by the unction of the Ruach HaKodesh, that Yah will surely judge you. He's going to judge you. He's going to bring swift destruction upon you. How dare you teach the nation of Israel that they can go out here and take the daughters of Zion and abuse them and use them for their own fleshly gain, for their own fleshly lust, and yet you teach them that they are justified. You teach them that because they have sex with the occultes without any type of accountability, without any type of responsibility or obligation to them, that makes them that man's wife because of sex. That is a lie from the pit of hell. You take a dog, a male dog will have sex, or he will have intercourse with a female dog, and he don't feel any obligation to her. He doesn't feel any accountability to that dog or to that female dog because he had sex with her. It does not make a woman a man's wife. An honorable man will do the right. He will engage the woman properly. He will not use the means of his lust or his flesh in order to acquire something that has not been given to him. My oscillocopes, you are precious. The apparatus of your beauty that God has made you with, don't give that to some man that is not worthy of you. Make sure that man is worthy of you. Why? Because your not your purpose. Your purpose is to be a helpmeet, to help build a family structure and to raise up seed, righteous seed, okay, and to preserve and to bring life and vitality to a lineage. And when women don't understand the importance, when they don't understand their value, then they will settle for dogs. They will settle for dogs. They will settle for men who are dogs. When you look at the word in the Hebrew, the word dog means a male prostitute. And they'll come to you, they'll try to entice you, they'll try to allure you, they'll try to deceive you, and the only thing they want to do is have sex with you and fulfill their lust. And after they do such, they don't care about you. They have no obligation to you. They don't feel as though they're connected to you. And what does this do? This caused folly to be wrought among Israel. But even in Shechem's case, Shechem sought, after he had relationship with Jacob's daughter, he still sought to do the right thing, and that was to make her his wife. But that didn't make no difference, my brothers and sisters. He still wrought folly among Israel. By lying with her, he should have never even did it in the first place. That wasn't the right protocol. That's not how you go about to do it. If you want a woman, you don't go lay with her. That's not what you do. You do what is honorable. You do what is right. If you don't do it, you have defiled her. Not only have you defiled her, but you have wrought folly among the nation of Israel. Let's continue on. All right, let's go on down to verse 8. And it says, and Hamor communed with them, meaning he communed with both Jacob and the 12 sons of Jacob, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. I pray you, give her to what? Give her him to wife. So Shechem, father Hamor, went to commune with Jacob and Jacob's sons in order for Dinah to be given to Shechem to be his wife. So ultimately, Jacob still had the decision to give his daughter to Shechem to wife or to refuse it. Now let's continue down. All right, I'm going to skip a few verses for the expedience of time. Look at this. Verse 11. And Shechem said unto her father, which is Dinah's father, which is Jacob, and unto her brethren, which was the 12 sons of Jacob, he said, let me find favor in your eyes, and what you say unto me, I will give. Verse 12. Ask me never so much what? Dowry and give. I will give according as you shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. So he was pleading, he was begging. He said, look, I'll give a dowry, I'll give a gift, I do whatever, I give whatever. Please give her to me to be my wife. He still had to go bargain. He still had to go and commune with the father and the brethren in order for Dinah to become his wife. All right? Now look at verse 13. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled her, because he had defiled Dinah, their sister. All right? Now we're not going to read everything else. You can read that on your own accord. One thing that I do want to point out is everything did not end well for Shechem or for Hamor because of what Shechem had did to Dinah, Jacob's daughter, all right? Did not end well. But one of the things that I want you to understand is found in verse 31. of Genesis chapter 34. Look at what the 12 sons of Jacob say. And they said, should he deal with our sister as with an harlot? It is harder for a man to take hold of a woman that has not been given or betrothed to him and have sex with her. That is an act of whoredom. You are dealing with that sister. You are dealing with that woman as a harlot. Point blank. It is whoredom. Yah says, the Apostle Paul says that Elohim is going to judge all whoremongers and adulterers. He's going to judge them. And the judgment of Yah fell upon Hamor and Shechem. Why? Because they treated Jacob's daughter like a harlot. They did something, they walked folly in Israel. That thing should not be done. It shouldn't be done at all. Alright? So we see here the rewards and what can happen to an individual if they don't do the honorable thing as it relates to marriage. This is a very serious thing, my brothers and sisters. It's not something to take lightly, all right? With that being said, let us go to Genesis. We'll go to Genesis chapter 2, and we're going to start at verse 18. Now, I want you to see something here. This is the very first marriage that ever happened upon the face of the earth. That is the union between Adam and Eve. There are some things here that I want to point out, and I want you to see this, okay? This is very important for you to understand. I want you to read along with me. If you have a strong concordance, I want you to follow along. We're going to define certain words in this passage of Scripture, okay? Now look at this. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. And Yah Elohim said, it is not told, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. All right? Now let's skip down to verse 21. Look at this. And Yah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, closed up the flesh instead thereof, and the rib which Yah Elohim had taken from man made he a woman. Look at this. And brought her unto the man. He brought her unto the man. Now, I want to explain something here, because something had to be taken from Adam in order to create or to bring forth his Isha, and his wife, okay? And his wife was brought to him, okay? The rib that Yah took from Adam represents a dowry. He had to pay, he had to give something of himself, okay, in order to acquire or to take, okay, what Yah had brought or what Yah had given, that Yah had given to him. I want you to understand this. Yah took the rib. The rib represents the dowry. Remember that a dowry must be given. A dowry must be given whether the man has sex with the woman prior to asking, or prior to the father giving his blessing or giving his daughter to the man to wife, whether or not a dowry must be given. The dowry is something that is given from the man in order to acquire or to obtain or to take his wife that is brought to him or given to him by the father of the woman or the woman's father. Okay? I want you to understand that. I'm going to say it again. The dowry is something that the individual or the man must give in order for him to receive or to acquire his wife rightfully. You understand what I'm saying? So when we look at the analogy that God took the real from Adam, that is a metaphor of a dowry being given or a dowry being taken from Adam in order to produce or in order for a wife or a woman to be given unto Adam or given to the man. That is why we follow the custom of giving a dowry, or the man or the father giving his daughter to the man for wife, and the man or the one that's acquiring the daughter or the one that's accepting the daughter that is given by the father to the man must give a dowry first to acquire that woman to be his wife. This is where we get the concept from. It happened in the beginning with Adam and Eve. This is how God brought forth a union of marriage. It's very important. Look at this. He caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, verse 21, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs, closed up the flesh instead, and the rib which he had taken from man made he a woman. When a man gives the dowry, when a man gives a dowry for a woman to be his wife, what the father does, he takes it. He takes it from the man, and when he takes the dowry from the man, in return or in exchange for the dowry, he gives his daughter, which, look at this is deep, because the daughter proceeds from the loins of the man, okay? So the daughter is produced, okay? The daughter is produced or made for the purpose to be a man's wife. But in order for that man to acquire that woman, he must give something of himself, which is that dowry, and in return, he is given his Isha, or his wife. Now, key word here in verse 22. I want you to see something. It said, "And the rib which Yah Elohim had taken from man, made he woman, and brought her," what? "Unto the man." So Yah brought the woman unto the man. When you look at Genesis, when you look at the incident of Isaac and Rebekah, when Abraham sent his servant to the house of Laban, okay? Rebekah was Laban's sister, okay? When the servant brought Rebekah back to Isaac, okay, he was bringing her to him to be his wife. So Rebekah was brought to Isaac. She was brought to him to be his wife. The same protocol when a man gives his daughter, he is bringing his daughter to the man for the purpose of his daughter to be his wife. Okay? Now let's look at the word brought here in Genesis chapter 2, verse 22. It means to go or come, to abide, to obtain. It also means to give. It means to give or give. To give. Alright? So the father must give his daughter to the man to be wife. So the word brought also means to give. So when Yah brought Eve to Adam, he was giving Eve to Adam for the purpose to be his wife. Alright? So the rib represents the dowry which was taken from man in order to produce or to make or to bring forth his wife. It is the same metaphor when in a marriage or in the engagement or the initial process, when a man rightfully and honorably desires for a woman to be his wife, he gives the dowry. The dowry represents the rib, and giving the rib to the father or the dowry to the father in return produces and gives the man, or gives the man a wife, which would be his daughter. He gives his daughter to the man to be his wife. That is what God did with Eve. Adam just didn't run there and just take her or snatch her up. I'm going to take her. Oh, yeah, you took the rib from me. I'm just going to take her. No, Yah brought the woman to the man, which means that Yah gave, or he gave Eve in marriage to Adam. All right? Now, let's look at this. Let's see if Eve became the wife of Adam during this time, or during this particular incident here. Look at verse 23 of Genesis chapter 2. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." Look at verse 24. "Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, and cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and he shall cleave." He shall come together. He shall take hold of his wife, and they shall be one flesh. All right. Verse 25. This is very important. "And they were both naked, the man and his wife." So when Yah brought Eve, or gave Eve unto Adam to be his wife, Eve became his wife when Yah brought the woman unto the man. Then she became his wife. That's when the marriage took place. They didn't have sex, they didn't have intercourse at that particular time, okay? It's not recorded that Adam knew her or went into her at that particular time. The simple act of Yah bringing Eve to Adam for the purpose of the marriage, that's when the marriage began. When Yah brought Eve, and that is when the marriage began. When Yah brought Eve unto Adam, which meaning Yah gave Eve to Adam to be wife, okay? First, Adam, Yah taking the rib from Adam, representing the dowry. We're going through the analogy again. And then Yah brought Eve unto Adam, which means, we read it, the definition of bring means to come to give, all right? Let's start. I want to say to all of you who are viewing, if you are a first-time listener, or if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, or if you're not connected to us on Facebook, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at True Remnant Ministry. Also, you can subscribe to or become a friend on my Facebook page, which is called True Remnant Ministry, or Pathuel bin Yaakov, okay, on Facebook. You can look for that name or type in True Remnant Ministry. You'll see a picture of me and everything of that nature. So, and then you can click on the profile and send me a friend's request if you want to stay updated with our Facebook profile, which is, on Facebook. Also on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is True Remnant Ministry, all right?